Hi guys, my name is Ellen Mubwanda and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted us to do a little story time. I don't think I've properly done that. Mostly my videos have sort of like been teaching about something. If you're here for the first time, my name is Ellen Mubwanda, and if you're just returning, I'm glad you're back and thank you so much for still looking at my content. Okay, so I'm pretty excited. Today is a Friday, and I just thought of talking about something that I know a lot of us have gone through. This it's something that maybe we don't talk about because we're a little bit afraid of opinions, and there is a particular way that people take this particular this specific story actually. So I'm going to talk about my astral my astral travel experiences. So where I come from, um, this sort of thing is not exactly accepted as okay, because what they say is, like I always tell you, I'm Zimbabwean, right? So Zimbabwe is a very it's a very Christian country. Like almost everybody is Christian. If you're not, you're a deviant, and that's just how it works. You're not you're not the you're the minority practically, and the minority is looked at weird. Like it's not okay to be the minority most of the time. So because of all of the things that I've been going through spiritually, and being the experimental person that I am, I came across, I think I've always astral projected. If you don't know what astral projection is, this is basically when you're sleeping and then you somehow become aware that you're dreaming. And some people refer to this as out of body experiences. So if you've had something like this, then you've probably astral projected and you didn't know it. So where I come from, people usually say if you're doing this sort of thing, then you're a tool. You're a tool for like witches and stuff. That's what they say. Or for just like evil spirits. Just it's just associated with terrible things basically. So I've been astral projecting for a really long time, ever since I was young. It's just that because that there's a certain way that people view this sort of thing, you don't want to talk about it when it happens to you, and you just think, okay, I don't want to be a tool, so I'm so I'm probably just gonna look for help some way and just deal with it. So I think the first time I astral projected, I was probably like 7 or something. Like I was still pretty young, and I had a childhood that was filled with very weird things. So this was just like the little part of all the weirdness that was happening around me when I was growing up. So I would just notice that I would sleep, and then weird things would start to happen, and this had kind of stopped until I re-entered into, I don't know, I guess when I was working on bringing the gifts that I had when I was a child. When I told myself, this is what I'm gonna do, this is what I'm gonna try to get back, this is when it started again. Okay, so of course I did my research, because you don't want to get into anything without knowing what you're getting yourself into. So I did my research, and I found what I found, and I even figured out, I actually found out that you can astral project at your own wish. Some people call it lucid dreaming. It really comes in all different names, but it's kind of the same thing. So more or less the same thing, but it's kind of the same thing. So what I did was I set myself up for it, and then I did it voluntarily, and it happened. So the way it happened was I just woke up, and then I realized that, whoa, something's a bit weird here. So I woke up, and then I noticed that I was looking at myself sleeping, and I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of weird. So then now I was like in my room, and it was the exact same way it had been when I went to sleep. So the thing about this particular dimension, like the astral plane, is that meta is not the way that it is right now. Like when you're astral projecting or astral traveling, you can wish for something, like want something, just like focus on something, like maybe I want a tree to be there or something like that, and you get it. That's how it works. It's extremely flexible. It's more fluid, I guess. That would be like a very good term. And a way for you to notice if you are astral projecting is you can sort of like pull your finger, and because meta works differently there, your finger might like stretch for miles. That's just the weirdness of it. But that's just a test for you to check if you're astral projecting or not. You can like pull your finger, or just like fingers are easy to use. You can pull your finger and you'll see that it'll stretch. That's how it works. And another thing is that you never really last very much when you're astral projecting. Like you don't do it for very long. In my own experience, the latest time that I did this sort of thing, because my house is very protected, not like physically protected, like spiritually protected, because I experiment a lot, so I have to keep myself protected. So because I do this sort of thing, when I astral project, I kind of have to leave my house because nothing goes on in my house, like made sure. So when I decided, okay, I'm gonna leave my house, but where do I go to? And I don't want to like get into any trouble, or get into something that now I can't control. So I just focused my mind, and I was like, okay, I want to go back to high school. But I just didn't think that it would actually happen. And when I opened my eyes, the weird thing is, when you close your eyes, you don't like close them like we do and see darkness. When you close your eyes, you can still kind of see, like you're aware of, you have like an aerial view of everything that is around you. So I could sort of see what was around me, and then boom, I was in high school. And this was a total surprise, because I didn't know that when you astral project you can go back to the past. I always thought it was something about like the future or the present, more like. So when I went back to the past, I was like, whoa, okay. And this was actually on a particular day that I could remember, and I could interact with people that were around me. Because when I went back to high school, I was with a friend of mine. I'm not going to mention her name because, privacy. But I actually went back to high school, and this was around the time that we usually go to study. It's just around like 6 o'clock in the evening. And it's not really dark yet. So she was saying, hey, let's go to study. We're going to be late. We're going to get in trouble. And I was like, dude, I can't go to study. Like, I'm just here. I'm looking for something. The moment that I figure out what it is that I'm looking for, I'm really going to go back. And then she said, no, what are you talking about? Let's go to study. And I kept on trying to tell her, look, I am dreaming, okay? This is not real. This might be very real for you, but it's not real for me. I gotta go back. And she kept saying, stop being weird, dude. Let's go to study. And I was like, okay, this is not gonna happen clearly. So I just started going with her to study. Then I also figured, hey, this class is gonna be full of a lot of people, and I don't think I can take in all of that energy. So I just figured, okay, I should probably like wake up now. So then I just looked at her, and she was like pulling me into the classroom, and I told her, wait, I have to go, okay? I love that I saw you, but I really have to go now. And then, she just looked at me with that look again, like, you're being weird. And then I just went back. I was back in my house now, and I saw my body. And this is the really cool part. When I looked at my body, it felt like there was like this magnetic force that sort of pulled me back into my body, like super magnetic. So I thought that was like super cool. Then I was whammed back into my body, and I woke up. So this is just like the latest astral projection that I've done. I This has happened like a couple of times. Other times I wasn't even properly prepared and I was still super scared. Something that, like, a lot of fear that I've had for a while is something that I've had to deal with in my meditations and all of that stuff. So I only really astral projected again when I was sure that I had gotten rid of a lot of fear issues and, you know, any other issues, so that I have clean energy and I'm not afraid, basically, because it's not the best thing to do these things when you're already kind of afraid of certain things. It's not the best place. Really, it's usually just best for you to, you know, be calm and, you know, be in your true element, really. So yeah, this was my astral projection story. I know that a lot of you have probably gone through different things. For most people, though, before they astral project, they get into sleep paralysis, and most people just feel like, okay, this is probably like demons pulling at my feet, which I don't know. It could be. I'm not saying I know everything, but for me, every time I've astral projected, I might have gotten into like a sleep paralysis type of situation, but for me, because I'm not scared, I eventually transition into astral projection. But for most people, you know, they're scared, like, oh my god, why can't I move, and all of these things. And there's scientific reasons for this, there's also spiritual reasons for this, there's reasons for everything, I guess. But, you know, at the end of the day, I guess it's mostly about your state of mind and what you believe, because what you really believe is what influences you. It's insane, but that's just how it works. The more that something influences you, the more that it becomes real to you and it becomes your reality. So yeah, so this is my story. I hope that I can hear more of your stories, and yeah, just comment in the comment section below and tell me what you've experienced. Tell me, yeah, just tell me. I would love to hear your stories. And if you have been having problems with sleep paralysis, I would love to know how you're getting through it, or if you're getting through it at all. All right, so this is it, and I'm glad that I could do this a really long video with you. 12 minutes is a lot, almost getting into 13. So I'm glad we could do this little thing, and I'd really love to hear all of your feedback. Don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe, so that you can get more comments, more content like this. I love doing these videos, and I love having all of you guys as listeners. So until next time, see you in the next video. Bye.